What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to bring you a nice little review on the Limitless RDTA. I actually have two. I have one in stainless and I have one in black. This is the one we're going to go up close on since I'm already using this one. And that way I get to be lazy. I've been using this thing for since Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, about 5 days. And I freaking love it. There's a few little tricks to it that I'll talk about when we go over it and we go up close. Couple little things I dislike, a lot of things I do like, but we'll go over that when I go up close. So here we go. All right, first you got the top of the box here. This actually slides out. There's your Limitless RDTA, and it's got some goodies there. All right, that's the top of it with all this cool stuff here down the sides. Some Facebook and Instagram logos and links. Limitless actually sent this over to iJoy to be produced, and which was a smart move in my opinion, because that way it was made a little bit cheaper so it could get out to more people than their normal products that are priced a little out of the reach for some people. I actually have a disclaimer here. See if I can get that to zoom in a little bit there. Just says disclaimer, rebuildable atomizers are for experienced users with the knowledge of rebuilding coils. Make sure you use an ohm meter at a safe ohm level. Please ensure all screws are properly tightened and the center positive pin is lower than the 510 thread before using, meaning make sure the copper 510 positive is protruding past the negative screws. iJoy and Vapor Hub International Incorporated is not responsible for misuse, dangerous ohm levels, or improper use. Consult an experienced builder at your local vape shop if you are not familiar with rebuilding. And that's it for that. That says iJoy on that side. Same thing on that side. And now we're at the back. Limitless RDTA. The all-new Limitless RDTA is a rebuildable Genesis-style tank, which has the best of both worlds. You get the best taste like a dripping atomizer with the convenience of a tank. The Limitless RDTA features the latest and greatest technology of today, including a 2-post deck, adjustable pen with peak insulator, hybrid compatible, innovative cotton reservoir, 4 ml juice capacity, innovative filling, adjustable airflow, Delrin shelf cap, and it has the little authentication scratch and sniff thing there. All right, well, let's get into it. That's it for the box and the packaging. Let's go ahead and slide this bad boy off. That's pretty much it. When you first get it, though, it's covered in plastic that's kind of like stuck to the packaging. So this just pops off. Set that aside. And there is it's got this nice hard foam here. And there she is. And it's got a little symbol here, which we'll get into that. That little drop right underneath the cap there. That is your fill, but we will get into that. It's got a very large cycloptic airflow on both sides, dual coil setup only, dual O-rings at the bottom and dual O-rings at the top. All right, and then it comes with your goodies here as normal. It's actually pretty cool. It comes with extra, you can put these at the bottom of the glass and the top of the glass. I think that helps with a little bit of the leaking issue, which I haven't tried yet. It comes with an adapter to extend your shelf a little bit, and we'll get into that. Extra screws and 2 Allen wrenches, and we will get into that. All right, let's dive in here. All right, well, I guess we'll start from the top and work our way to the bottom. It comes with this chuff. It's an airflow controlled chuff, as you can see. If I can get it to focus, there's your airflow control. It's not focusing very well today. Doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. It's got airflow control, very thin, very wide bore chuff there. But the one thing I didn't like is it's very short. It's a very short chuff. There's a look at your deck. So, and like I said before, it's only dual coils. So when you cut this side off halfway, this side goes the same, so there's no way to run a single coil. Or at least not have airflow dedicated for one coil. So you'll pull the barrel off, and that is your fill. That big hole right there. Good Lord, it is not wanting to cooperate at all. There we go. There's your fill there. 2-post design. Very large post holes. Grub screws. I think it's a 2.5, or it might even only be a 2. It's either a 2 or 2.5 post hole. Peak insulator on the positive side. And then this screws off, which leaves your deck open. That's pretty much it. The one thing I like about this is just notched out for your cotton. So it's no little tiny hole to try to jam your cotton down in, so the cotton doesn't get choked out as bad as some of the older style Jenny styles. The cotton doesn't get choked out. It's just, you just drape it down, and then that's your glass pops off as well. There we go, and that's pretty much it. You can take the 510 loose and pull the whole thing off, but we're not going to do that. You do have a little bit of a reservoir down here in the bottom. If I can get it to focus in a little bit. Apparently not today. There is a little bit of a reservoir down there in the bottom. And like I said, your glass goes on back here. You know, this is pretty much once you're done building. And then there she goes. Nice and tight. Usually the fill hole will line up with in between the posts. Once it gets broken a little bit, it tends to kind of kick over a little bit further. Like I said, I've been using mine for 4 or 5 days now, and it has kind of ended up off center. I guess once everything gets seated and whatnot. That's pretty much just a basic look at it. It's got threads here. And like I said, you just build your coil like normal, and then you drape your cotton down. Now, the one thing I did when I first built on mine, I'm going to take a look at the 510 too real quick. I'll get into how I built it. Come on. Please. 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 It's a little blurry, but you can see that the 510 it's copper plated. I mean, gold plated. On the bottom here, it says, Jesus, I'm having issues here. Co-designed by iJoy, Limitless Mod, Co. in California, Limitless. And you can see the the gold plated 510, but you can also see it's protruding there. Good, very much. This, I would recommend you can use this on a hybrid style device. That's definitely has enough protrusion to use on any hybrid style device. So I can just get that to go back on. Like I said, ends up lining itself up perfectly, but after a while it will come over. But that's pretty much it. It's pretty basic, it's pretty simple. You just pop your barrel back on there. Now we can take a look at this here, this little extension. Now you'll notice with this little extension, it doesn't extend it very much, but I think it does help. But that just slides in, so it's a little bit of an extension, but the thing is it closes down. It necks down inside, so like if you can hear this, that's wide open airflow without the extension. Now it's all loud and kind of obnoxious. It does help a little bit with spitback, and does give you a little bit of, like I said, an extension of it. I didn't notice a difference with it as far as flavor or vapor production. I didn't notice a big difference with or without it. I just know it was a little bit easier, a little more comfortable to vape with that piece on there, but it is a little loud. Here, I'll let you. So you still get a little bit of spitback, but it's not awful. Without it, you get a ton. And of course, that could be my own build, my wicking, and whatnot. Now, I'll get into the wicking real quick. When I wicked mine, the first time I wicked it all the way down to where it touched up just above that little reservoir at the bottom. That made filling it kind of a pain, and it didn't hold a lot of juice. It took a little while for the juice to soak up, and then when it soaked up, it got rid of a lot of the juice. It was just into the cotton. I changed that, and I have it wicked just about right to here, just below or right at the top of the glass. So basically, as you can see here, all you can see is juice. You can see the cotton just a little bit on the corners there, just a little bit. And it seems to do just fine. Once it gets to about a little bit lower than the level it is now, you'll need to rejuice. Once you screw this on over your cotton, it does tend to pull the cotton around if you have just a little bit too much. What you can do to fix the problem of the cotton being in the way of the fill, because if it's loaded up in there, you go to fill it, it's just going to bubble out and fill up this hole and come running out. I've had it do it a couple times. Just take a pick, any kind of angled pick, and get it down in there and just move the cotton over out of the way of the fill. A couple times, do that, and then it opens up your fill and it goes right down into the base. The one, see how I'm talking, it's not quite centered anymore where I was talking, and don't judge me by the coils, they're 4 days old. But just take your pick and move the cotton over a little bit, and then that opens your fill to where it doesn't neck up, the juice doesn't neck up inside the fill hole. The only con I would say I have is, one, that you have to finagle with that fill from bottling up, and two, the chuff isn't quite user friendly. You have to add this piece, I think, but to each their own. It just doesn't feel natural. It's just not quite tall enough. To show you how mine is wicked. No, I don't want the whole tank to come off. That was smart, wasn't it? All right, so that's mine. As you can see, it's draped down just about to the glass. And don't judge me on the build, like I said, it's 4 days old. But as you can see, you can see how close they get here to each other. When you take the pick inside of the fill hole, that's kind of what you're doing. You're moving that out of the way. Because when you thread it down, it pulls the cotton over and it gets in the way, and you have to see, it already started pushing it before I even threaded it. And I have not had a problem with the threads being janky or screwed up. And again, now it's off center. Where did you come from? And just go in here, move the cotton back out of the way, and I'm gonna take it back up top and go over the pros and cons, I guess, and go from there. All right, so we're back. Like I said, you're gonna have to try to play around with the wicking to get it right so that it's not in the way of that fill, and try not to fill it laying over on its side, because all it's gonna do is try to pile up. Instead of go down into the reservoir, it's just going to pile up on the cotton and push itself back out. That was the issue I was having. Vapor production is crazy great. Flavor, it's everything that an Addy would be, in my opinion. It's a lot easier than the older Jenny styles where you have to shove the cotton down through the hole, or the mesh wicking, or whatever it is you were using. It's so much easier to use. And then even if you're driving or just sitting at home, you just pull the cap off, fill it up, put the cap back on, you're good to go. And I was good for like a good 10-15 minutes before I had to refill it. It doesn't last long. The reservoir is quite small. It only holds 4 mils of juice, but it's, you know, it does suck it up just like an Addy. The only dislike I would have is the chuff is just too short, and the added on piece makes it obnoxiously loud. But I can show you how it vapes without it. It does cut back on spit back a little bit, but not a lot. But It just doesn't feel like a natural vape with that short, stubby chuff. It just does not feel natural to me. Because it feels like my mouth is wanting to go all the way over the whole cap instead of just the chuff. And I don't like that. So I added that in. Made it more of a natural feel with the extension, but it is quite loud. And it helps with spit back, but not much. As you can see, it does leak a little bit. After you fill it, if you get anything over the O-rings, when you put the cap on, it does squeegee out the juice there. But it doesn't leak. I've had it laying on its side in a car door, and it didn't leak out. So there's no issue there. I don't think it's going to be like a leak monster. You just get a little bit of residual after putting the cap back on. Other than that, no issues with many major leaks. So I like it. I give it 2 thumbs up. I think 8 out of 9 dentists would approve. So there you go. There's my short and skinny of the Limitless RDTA.